Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. So much is happening over the weekend. So much has happened in the news since I last spoke to you in just a few days. It's so hard to take time off with so much news. The news cycle is shrinking. They're getting like 2 or 3 sets of or cycles of news almost a day now. And they used to take the weekends off. Not anymore. It just keeps coming. So I'm trying to catch up on all of it. This is just going to be focused on crypto. But I will say that I'm going to be putting another video. I thought about putting it on my backup channel, and if you're not subscribed to my backup channel, it's EconomicLeader. Please check that out. There's a link in the description. But I think what I'm going to do is there's a lot to talk about, and I don't think YouTube's going to like it. So I think what I'm going to do for my Patreons, this is going to be a Patreon-only video where I'm going to talk about certain things that go beyond crypto and what's really happening over in Asia and Middle East and a few other countries. So I'll touch on that briefly here, but I'm really afraid of what YouTube's going to do if I go too far down that rabbit hole. But first, let's go over a couple of stories, and we'll talk about a little bit about the economic preppers and what happened over the weekend, and why you need to check that out too, and why I'll be talking more about what I'm going to share on Patreon this Friday. It'll come out, and you'll see more on the economic preppers, all about it. And there could be more to the story by then. But first, let me share my screen. Talk about a couple of stories. So first off, this is Coinbase. All right. So Coinbase last week, they received what they call a Wells notice. That's right down here. Okay. All right. So the SEC issued the crypto exchange Coinbase a Wells notice, which is a warning. All right. Basically just says, hey, we're concerned that you may have done something illegal. That's the nice way to put it. But it basically says that, hey, you're going to get more information from the SEC soon. So this set off Brian Armstrong and Coinbase. Coinbase has been one of the most cooperative agencies in the United States for crypto. Yet the SEC and the CFTC continue to just pound on them because they're saying they're not complying, even though they're trying to. Coinbase went public. I think they're all in all states, including New York. New York's the trickiest one. But they're trying their best to comply, but the SEC says we don't want any part of it. Why is that? Well, I talked about that on the economic preppers, and that's Operation Choke Point. And let me share my screen again, and I'll talk about that briefly. So Operation Choke Point, if you haven't heard about it, it's been all over Twitter. Nick Carter on Twitter right here. He did a great breakdown of this. And this is the Pirate Wire's Substack. I'll share this in the link too. But this goes over the history of from middle of February back to the November, December timeframe of all the things that the agencies were trying to do to choke out the ability for people to get out of fiat and dollar and get into crypto and vice versa. So what they're trying to do, and they know that they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point. Crypto's out there. So they're trying to limit the access to the toothpaste by making all these choke points and saying, oh, you want to go from dollars to Bitcoin on Coinbase? Well, we're going to give them a Wells notice. Now, this morning, we've got another one. They also did work with, they've done this to Kraken about their staking, and Kraken is too small to get into litigation, so they don't want to go there. And then now this morning, we got another story, and I'll share my screen again, where Binance, all right? So Binance this morning, Binance and CZ are sued by the other agency. There's the CFTC, which I think it's a trade. Commerce Financial Trade, Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And I know it's grayed out here because they want you to subscribe and all that other stuff. But basically what they're saying is that Binance and CEO CZ were sued by the U.S. and the CFTC for allegedly breaking derivatives rules. So this is just breaking today. Let me explain a little bit about derivatives briefly. And then we're going to go and talk about where else we have talked about. I'm going to bring in Dylan and Patrick from the economic preppers, and I'll show you that in a moment, including a giveaway. By the way, if you like the content, if you like these videos, I know I'm supposed to say at the top, but I always forget. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down below, and as you see about the giveaway on economic preppers, you can get something for it. So before I go on and leave crypto and go to the preppers and talk about what the preppers have done, I want to cover a little bit of the Binance and CZ, and also mention to our Patreons that, we've got an AMA tomorrow, probably at 8:30. I have to check with Patrick in his schedule, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the time, 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. It's the last AMA this month until the price goes up in April. Sorry, but we got to keep the lights on. And by the way, I went shopping this weekend, and I don't know if you're having this on your personal issues, but recalibrating to the new prices. Like everything I look at is double of what I'm familiar with. I used to be able to go to the store and I would know that. I know how much that is. Like, I know, like, I drink Arizona iced tea. By the way, Arizona iced tea, if you want to sponsor me, I'm listening. But if I go and get Arizona iced tea, usually the big jug was like $2.50, maybe $2 on sale. Now $3.50 to $5 is to the typical range. Everything is double anymore. But I digress. Let's go to the Binance story. Then we'll talk about the economic preppers. So the Binance is getting choked out by Operation Choke Point, where they're trying to limit access to get from the dollars, the Federal Reserve notes, over to crypto and back, because the CBDCs aren't ready yet. So they're trying to buy time. The powers that be are trying to buy time to launch the CBDC and to force you to stay in the dollar system, the current financial system, and not get into the new financial system, or one of them, which has Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in it. So that's what Operation Choke Point is about. Let me go back to sharing my screen. If you don't have, we talked about that over on Economic Preppers. It's by Nick Carter, and I'll leave a link to that. But he goes over like the things that like the powers that be and the agencies have done since December to February, just to lock down crypto and limit access. So if you can't get access to Bitcoin or to other cryptos, that's why you really need to know a crypto guy. So I just happen to be one. I am able to get Bitcoin, and I have wallets. If you are struggling, this is not financial advice, but if you've already made the determination that you want more crypto or Bitcoin or whatever, especially if you want Bitcoin directly from a miner, please contact me. I can help you out. All the contact information is down below, LitecoinLeader.com, all that good stuff. But let me go to the economic preppers and what they did over the weekend, and then I'll mention the giveaway. And then we'll talk about the video that's coming up over probably on Patreon that I'm going to make next. So here's the economic preppers from this past weekend. Okay, sharing my screen one more time. So economic preppers, we are growing. We're almost at 200 subscribers. Thank you so much. But here's our videos from this past weekend. Okay, they're actually, it looks like a lot, but what we did was we took the weekly update, which is 82 minutes long. Because there's a lively debate about whether Bitcoin can get to $1 million in 90 days, which has been all over Twitter. And Patrick and I took both sides of it, and we talked about it a lot. We actually made that into, and we made the full episode into shorter versions, some clips. So you have the clip of can Bitcoin get to $1 million in 90 days? You have a short based on the same topic, which is less than 3 minutes long. Great thing to share, get people energized and excited both about Bitcoin and also about economic preppers. Please share this video. I really appreciate that. But also the same weekly update. We talk about U.S. news and economy, world events updates, crypto updates, the Bitcoin stories I mentioned, some history and woo-woo to close out the show, and also the gold and silver, precious metals, and prepping generality conversations that we have as a segment. That segment has received a lot of attention because there's a giveaway in there. We're giving away silver in there. Please watch watch that segment to learn how and to see how you could possibly win from some stock pulse silver just for watching the show and just leaving a comment. So let me drop out of here. Well, before I drop out of here, I'm going to mention that the video that I'm going to be talking about is covering a couple of stories that are talking about the Middle East and some new trade routes that China and Russia are brokering. This is the closest that I've seen Iran and Russia together since Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik. Now, I hope some of you get that reference. That, Andre, that was for you. But I think a lot of people out there are going to get that too. But here you see you have China brokering a deal between Iran and Russia and all these different trade routes that are being established, all part of the Belt and Road Initiative. And here's another trade route that I'm going to talk about on Patreon. I don't want to go too far in there, but this explains what's really going on in the other parts of the world that I can't really talk about, and they don't want you to talk about here in the U.S. But I'll put that up on Patreon as a private video. So let's see how that turns out. Let's see if that gets flagged. I don't know. I might have to put it up on Rumble and make it private. I'm not sure how I'm going to share it yet, but I'm going to make that video next. But you get the idea. So if you want to know more about crypto, right, we're going to be doing crypto segments on Economic Preppers. I'd love to get your feedback on if you like that new format with the clips and everything. Please like, share, subscribe, share out this video. Helps this channel. Hit the notification bell. I read all the comments. What are your thoughts on Coinbase and Binance and what the SEC and the CFTC, the alphabet soup, are doing to these big crypto exchanges? Do you see Operation Choke Point as the least common denominator and likely the big store that they're trying to do and trying to buy time to get CBDCs launched? I would love to read your opinion. So please leave a comment down below. And also look up here for more videos and more links. And also Patreon. Got to go over Patreon and probably watch that video where we're going to talk about what's really going on in those other countries. So lots said today. I'm going to stop there for now. I'm going to close the door in the bureau, say follow leader one more time, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.